Small patrol. Oh, it has a charger. Never mind. Come hide behind this rock.
On the hill above us.
We're gonna chill.
I'm going this way though.
Surely they don't know we're here.
Extras here. We can hold them off for just a second.
Oh, now they do.
Then we're gonna go up the hill.
Rover. All right.
Grenades.
I got him as he jumped on me. Oh my god.
That was impressive.
Oh, Jesus. Helldivers 2 is one of the video games of all time. Everything from the memes, the stories, the advertisements. It shouldn't come as a surprise at how quickly it took the internet by storm. But ever since the very first balance patch, there have been more than a few whispers of treasonous dissent. And in this video, I want to talk about them. How many of them?
All of them, kudasai.
Yo, what up? It's your boy, kid with too much time invested in this game. Welcome to my Helldivers 2 video. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't got time for that. So back when the game launched, everyone was running around like chickens with their heads cut off because the developers over at Arrowhead Studios made a very clear and clever design choice with Helldivers. A complete lack of information. The tutorial that your little Helldiver gets is just helpful enough to get you to understand the extremely basic controls, but tells you literally nothing about enemy types, armor penetration, or any of the other seemingly need-to-know mechanics as both a fun satirical introduction to the universe of the game, but also to let us players figure it out ourselves. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Twitter during the release of Helldivers 2 was actually a hilarious place to be. I'm sure Reddit was too, but you know, I try not to use that. People posting fan recruitment posters or sharing their stories on the accidental cinematic moments was a blast to experience. It really felt like the entire community unanimously cast aside their differences and set out to spread managed democracy. But as is often the case with any game that has any kind of stats or performance metrics, it wouldn't take too long for people to figure out the ideal loadouts to take for pretty much every mission. As you got up there in difficulty, joining random groups with non-meta loadouts would often get you kicked from the game or banned from different groups, and even if you didn't get kicked, it was even less uncommon to get griefed or clowned on for wanting to lean into a different playstyle. And so it happened that the balance patch came in, and while a lot of stuff got buffed or fixed, one of the fan favorite meta weapons got nerfed. Now, I want to talk about that nerf, because basically everyone seems to believe that this weapon is now pointless, when the reality could not be further from the truth. You see, this weapon, the railgun, it's a support weapon that features ultra high penetration and decent damage locked behind a charge time. You hold the fire button to charge up the weapon, and the shot that comes out deals its damage and penetration based on the charge time. It also has an alternate firing mode called unsafe mode, but more on that later. See, before the balance patch, the railgun at near max charge could damage any unit in the game, including the ultra heavy ones. Since it didn't require a backpack to use, it also meant that you could take the highly coveted shield backpack. The shots from the railgun don't have any drop off, and its effective range matched most of the marksman rifles from primary weapons. And so a nerf was given to this weapon because it offered more damage, technically, than pretty much every other option. It provided utility by not taking up a backpack slot, and it could be used from stealth. So after the nerf, the safe railgun, like the safe mode, could no longer penetrate heavy armor from the big enemies. Now, you might be thinking, yo AC, what about that unsafe mode? Yeah, so here's the funny part. The railgun is almost completely unchanged from the pre-nerf unsafe mode. You see, the major difference between safe and unsafe mode is that in unsafe mode, if you charge the weapon for too long, you explode and die. But by bringing the weapon to about 80% charge, which is like holding the fire button for just over 2 seconds, you get the same damage and penetration that you did before the nerf. So why is everyone complaining? I don't know. But now, there is a legitimate case to be made about how Arrowhead might have done better to buff the lower end options that didn't do as much damage, which they would end up doing, but man, do I have another hot take to drop on you all. This game is not meant to be soloable. This game is not meant to be fair past difficulty 6. This game does not offer you any special rewards beyond difficulty 7. Seriously, if you've played at these levels, I want you to think about it. Like, really use your noggin here. There is no achievement, at least on the Steam version, in the entire game that requires you to play a mission harder than 5. The amount of super samples, these guys, that you need for the higher tier ship upgrades is never higher than 10 or so per upgrade. And after difficulty 6, you can't even affect the war efforts any more than you could otherwise. You still only get 3 missions per operation, and your contribution to the percentage doesn't get any bigger. You do 7s for the super samples, you do 8s or 9s just to challenge the unfair difficulty. That's it. It's literally just bragging rights. And don't get me wrong, there are people who can solo at 8s and 9s and stuff. There are many excellent videos about it, but you do not play Helldivers 2, a team-based game, expressly to, solo it. I promise you all, trying to ask for balance changes from the perspective of someone who does 7s, 8s, or 9s is completely pointless, because the focus for Arrowhead Studios is to make the average helldiving experience better for the people who want to play the way that they want. And you know what? Ever since that balance patch, I have seen more varied loadouts on higher end difficulties more than ever. Now, when I bring my preferred loadouts for bugs or bots, no one bats an eye. No one says, oh, you're bringing that? Oh man, isn't that trash? People just assume you bring what you want and you could perform just as good. I haven't even been kicked from groups, since then. It's insane. Oh my god. Okay, so honestly, this video ended up being longer than I wanted, and I could go on and on and on and on about all the wacky things that people talk about. Seriously, don't get me started on this whole politics thing. But at the end of the day, Helldivers 2 is a game that's meant to be enjoyed. I have maxed out every possible option in this game. I've done everything, and I promise you, it is just the most fun. It is ultra fun to chill out and do 5s or 6s, maybe the occasional 7 with the lads, rather than trying to optimize literally everything. And that's basically all I wanted to say. Peace. Oh, and sorry about the lack of videos in March. I deleted my scripts again, and then I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and then I got 5.3 gigabytes of memes and sound effects and goofy videos and stuff, and I was like, oh, well, I should just restart all of my projects and try and pump up the quality for them, which is why this video comes 3 weeks later than I wanted it to. I know that all of these are pretty lame excuses, so I'm going to try and get another video out this month to make up for it. So yeah, peace, but for real this time.